57. Good morning, students. We are back again for the English class of second year. Yesterday, we were doing the verb patterns, and you remember I had explained to you that in verb patterns, two things are very essential. Coming? Two things are very essential, which many of the students are unaware of it. One is intransitive sentence, the other is B form. Repeatedly, I've been drawing this tree diagram is for your understanding children. Remember, many children are unaware of auxiliary verbs. And this plays a very important role in verb patterns. You should know the complete verbs. Verbs are of two kinds. Don't think that I'm telling 10 times, because many of them, when we ask what verbs are, they only say action word. It is more than action word, children. Verbs are of two kinds. One is lexical, otherwise known as main verbs. What you call action word. Those are main verbs, while we have many auxiliaries. Lexical again is divided into two. They are transitive and intransitive. Intransitive. When we ask children what intransitive sentence is, many of you are not aware. Intransitive sentence you have in the verb patterns. It will be given as subject, intransitive verb, and in the third column, it will be written as other expression, but in brackets, it's written as, what's the opposite of mandatory? Optional. It will be written as optional, because you needn't fill the column. Subject, like say fishes. Fishes swim. And you can put a dash there because it's optional. Otherwise, you can write birds fly. Leave the column vacant. Or you can write as dogs bark when provoked. Now, when provoked is not an object. That is what I'm telling you, children. When provoked is not an object, such a sentence is known as an intransitive sentence, because intransitive sentence doesn't have an object. So in verb pattern, intransitive sentences you come across, and that's why it is very very essential for you to know the verbs. So you have understood what an intransitive sentence is. Like here he says optional. So you can leave it blank, or you can write any expression like the sun sets in the evening. Like I said, in the evening is not also an object. It's not an object, it's a phrase. So such sentences are known as intransitive sentences. Now coming to the next, it is auxiliary. Lexical is known as main verb and auxiliary are known as helping verb. This you have learned in junior inter. Helping verbs. This again plays a major role in sentence construction, children. Whether it is first year, second year, or further in your studies, verbs play an important role and you should be thorough. You should have it at your fingertips when we ask you, what are the auxiliaries? Like I said, auxiliary are again divided into two. One is models, which is can, could, shall, should, will, would, may, might, need, they. There are many. Just write etc. But children, why I'm writing this constantly on the blackboard, whether it is in junior class or senior class, because in study material, it is not clearly mentioned. Like he has given lexical auxiliary. In lexical, he has given transitive, intransitive. But the explanation for intransitive is not mentioned. Likewise, he has written models, primary, and primary again divided into B form, do form, have form. But they haven't split it up. So for better understanding, repeatedly in junior classes and senior classes, I'm writing this tree diagram. So models are can, could, shall, should, will, would, may, might, need, dare, etc. While primary again are of three kinds. They are be form, do form, have form. Now, what do you mean? Because in your material, it is written be form. But what is be form? When we ask the children, they look either confused or they say being, being. But actually, be form is singular, am is used with I, are is plural, present tense, was singular past, were plural past. Plus, you have the negative forms. Is, isn't, am, are. You write the negative as aren't, was, wasn't, were, weren't. Then do form. Do form is do, does, did. Plus do, don't. Does, doesn't. Did, didn't. Have form. Same like do form. Do, sorry. Have form. Has, have, had. Plus the negative form. Hasn't, haven't, hadn't. You must have, not only in parts of speech, even in active passive voice, you come across both intransitive and the primary. Intransitive sentences cannot be converted to passive because it does not have an object. Likewise, in question tags, when there is no auxiliary, you take up the do form, appropriate do form, whether it is negative or the positive, the appropriate form. So that's what I'm saying. Right throughout from June schools, right up to colleges, you keep having this but many children are not aware of the auxiliary verbs, or otherwise known as helping verbs. So you come across be form and intransitive in your verb patterns. So let's go on to the verb patterns. Yesterday I started, but we couldn't complete it. So let's complete it today. You remember in this, just now I explained, a model will be, example will be given, and you have, based on the model, you have to write 4 more sentences of your own. It will be like subject, next will be linking verb be, and object. He, okay, subject complement. Let's, before that, I'll start with subject complement. Oh. Now, what is complement? It tells you something more about, if it's subject complement, it talks about the subject. If it's object complement, talks about the object, and so on and so forth. He is a teacher. In exam, you'll get a, like this. An example will be given. Based on the example, you have to write. Now, when B is given, already I've explained to you, is, isn't, am, are, was, wasn't, were, weren't. See, how many linking words are there? In positive only, you have 5. So if one is used as an example, try not to repeat the same thing. Many children, just like, oh, he is a teacher, she is a doctor, I am a scientist. See, children, when you go on using the same words, it doesn't look nice. And likewise, don't go on repeating the linking verb be. Give many more examples. So write something and make use of different linking verb. Don't use the same be form, children. There are many more. You can use the negative also as well as the positive. So, sorry. Okay. So with linking verbs, there are many. You can also have a transitive sentence that is with an object. You cannot say she is reading. Remember, object, you have to mention the object. That here the object is book. So that is why you have to give a complete statement. She is reading a book. They are playing. Again, they are playing is incomplete. Instead of just writing playing, write ground. Playing in the ground. So in this way, make use of the correct statements and also remember the linking word. Please do not repeat them. The next is, I've already explained the intransitive sentence, but again, I'm going to write it clearly on the blackboard. Subject, intransitive sentence, and then any other expression. And in brackets, you will notice it is written as optional. You can fill or you can leave it blank. Like I said, they travel, they is subject, verb is travel, frequently. This is not an object. So you can use it as any other expression. Did you understand, children? It's L, not. Or you can put next sentence that I can give optional is birds fly. You can either put a dash over there or you can say they fly in the air. Again, air is not an object. So if you have any doubt, You cannot, you can just put a dash there because very clearly they say it's an optional. So I hope children, you all are understanding the verb patterns. I'll give you some more examples. Subject, verb, object. Simple. Tagore. Tagore is the subject, verb wrote. You know his famous book, Gitanjali. You come across it often, isn't it, children? Gitanjali. Or you can, instead of just Gitanjali, you can also mention, wrote the famous book, the popular book. Because object would be much more clearer rather than just write Gitanjali. Understood, children? Next, transitive verb and adverbial. Subject, transitive verb. Then object, adverbial. Again, that is object. Okay. Adverbial. Again, this is also optional. When there is a word called optional, you can leave it blank. You can just write a blank, like subject. My teacher. Subject is my teacher. Verb, remembers. Here, indirect object, me. My teacher remembers me. How the child feels so happy when they see that the teacher recollects their name, isn't it? So in this way, one will come as an example. Following this, you can understand and go about writing the sentences. Like I have mentioned, children, don't repeat the same sentences. It becomes not only boring, especially those who are writing supplementary, betterment. If you want to improve your marks, you should see that you write frame different sentences which are appropriate and also which are it should be clearly understood by the, don't give any vague sentences, children, or incomplete. Like I said, many children write, they are playing. Playing is not, and don't tell me it's there in the material. Yes, I accept it. It is there in the material, but you only think, do you think playing is an object? Playing in the ground? Yes, accepted. But if you write playing, I, as an examiner, would not give you any marks. There are many mistakes in the study material. So when we tell you something, please listen carefully, children. Object is something that can be held in your hand. It is not that can be seen. So keep this in mind. There are many mistakes in the study material. So You have to think for yourself. You know, verb is an action word. Subject is a person. Object is something that a person does. The doer of the action, that is the subject, does a particular action. So now with this, we end the verb patterns, and shall we go on to stress marking? Stress marking. Before we go on to stress marking, I want you to recollect your syllables. What is syllable? You have done it in junior inter. It is breaking up of a word. You can break, it can be monosyllable. Mono means one. Di means two. Tri means three. Actually, tetra is four, but we don't say tetra, but we say poly, which is four or more than four. Now, when you break up this word, you should remember that each syllable will have a vowel sound, right? It may have a consonant, it may not have a consonant, but it will definitely have a vowel sound. Like take, for example, America. If you pronounce it, you will notice it's a polysyllabic word. America. 4 syllables. And if you notice, there is no consonant sound. It is purely a vowel sound. The remaining, that's what I said. It may have a consonant, it may not have a consonant, but it has a vowel sound. Now take, for example, city. If you pronounce it, you pronounce as 2-syllabic word. City. Now, if you look at the syllables here, T, both are consonants, but the sound. So when we talk of vowels, we say it is A, E, I, O, U. That is a wrong thing, children, because it is vowels. When we say, it is the sound produced by A, E, I, O, U. Like take, for example, in articles you write a 1 rupee note. Even though O is a vowel, here the pronunciation you should notice is a consonant. Likewise, a European. Again, E is a vowel, but the sound is a consonant sound. But you write an honest man, an heir. If you see here, H is silent, and that's why you get a vowel sound. So when we talk of vowels, don't say A, E, I, O, U, but the sound produced by A, E, I, O, U. So if you know the syllables, stress marking should be easier. When you pronounce certain words, take for example, gigantic. It's a trisyllabic word. And it is only in English language that we have the stress marking. No other language do we have stress marking. So when you pronounce, if you notice, gan is pronounced a little more stress is given on gan. And in dictionaries, you will either find a vertical bar over it, or gan is highlighted. It is in bold to show you that stress is given on that particular syllable. So stress marking, you put a small vertical bar over the word, the syllable that you stress, put a little more stress. Now, just like preposition, stress marking is also very, very unpredictable because there are not many rules for stress marking. So please, children, follow carefully. Prefix. What is a prefix? Prefix is a word which is put before a root word like A, B, I, L, I, R, C, O, N, D, I, S. All these are weak prefixes. When they are prefixes, we do not put the stress on the prefix, but on the root word. Like take, for example, along. It's on the root word, among. Become. Illegal. Irregular, and so on. So did you understand, children? This is one rule, where on the prefix you do not put a stress, but it is on the root word. Now coming to the second, it is compound words. Do you know the meaning of compound words? Compound words are two different words put together to make a third meaning. Like book is has one meaning, shelf has another meaning. Bookshelf, bookshop, post box, postman. All these are compound words. Compound words, it is usually on the first syllable. Usually, again here it changes. Like words, compound words ending with ever, self, selves. You find it on the second syllable. Like however, whatever, wherever. It is on the second word, second syllable. Likewise, myself, themselves. But like I said, there are exceptions. Short-sighted, it's on the second syllable. Soft-spoken. That is why I said stress marking is very, very unpredictable, because there is no way that I can explain why short-sighted and soft-spoken it is on the second syllable. In the book, it only mentions ever, self, selves. Otherwise, compound words, it's on the first syllable. But then you have short-sighted, again a compound word, soft-spoken, another compound word where it is on the second syllable. Next, numericals. Like say 20, 30, 40, 80. It is on the first syllable. But when it ends with teen, 14, 18, It's on the T. Okay, children. So, then next is when a word is in adjective or noun, it is on the first syllable. But if it is a verb, it's on the second syllable. How will we know it's an adjective, noun? These are disyllabic words like present, absent. Present, the gift given to you, it is a verb. So it is put on the second syllable. But present, you are present, noun. So it is put on the first syllable. How would you know? They will mention in brackets. But so far in so many years, this came only once. So depend on prefix, compound words or numericals. Then going on to the next, this rule is very important, children. There are 3 rules with word endings. It is put in your textbook. The first one is 5 in EE, EER, ETTE, QUE, and last is AIRE. You have to learn the word endings by heart, children. Only then, when it ends with EE, from the end on the last syllable. Like take, for example, employee. You don't put before EE. I said last syllable, employee. So it comes before Y. Engineer. Like I said again, it is not before EE, but before N. Engineer. Did you understand, children? Kitchenette. Again, kitchenette. Unique. This is disyllabic word. Unique. So second syllable. Millionaire. Name. So these word endings, you have to learn it by heart. EE, EER, ETTE, QUE, AIRE. Next word endings are 4 in number. ION, IAL, IC, IOUS, or EOUS. This from the end second syllable. Like take, for example, the first one, vacation. This is trisyllabic word, vacation. So from the end second. Social. This is disyllabic word, so it comes on the first syllable. Likewise, logic, again disyllabic word. Dangerous, on the second syllable. Now coming to the third. First one has 5, second has 4, third one has 6. I-O-N, here it is I-A-N. I-A-L, I-C-A-L. Then I-Z-E, I-T-Y, L-O-G-Y, and G-R-A-P-H-Y. Okay? This first thing you should remember, this cannot be a disyllabic word for the simple reason from the end on the third syllable. Third syllable from the end means it cannot be disyllabic. It can only be trisyllabic or polysyllabic word. Like musician. Musician. So from the end, second syllable. Musical. Musical. Trisyllabic word, so it comes on the first. Sympathize. Sympathize. So again on the first syllable. Possibility. Possibility. From the end, third syllable. Biology. Biology. So it comes here. Photography. So these are very easy for you because with this word endings, it's very easy for you to remember. Only thing you need to by heart the word endings. First one, there are 5. E-E, E-E-R, E-T-T-E, I-Q-U, okay, Q-U-E, A-I-R-E, 5. In the second, there are only 4. I-O-N, I-A-L, I-C, I-O-U-S or E-O-U-S. But in the third, there are 6. In the second, it is I-O-N. Third, it is I-A-N. Keep track like that. In the second, it is I-A-L. In the third, it is I-C-A-L. Then I-T-Y, I-Z-Y, and logography. Very easy if you go about learning in that way. I hope you understood this word endings. And the last is, there is also stress shift. When we learned about the prefix, here when they are suffix, so what are suffix? For the root word, you add more. There is a shift, like economy. It is on the second syllable. When it comes to economics, it changes before N. Economic tricks. it changes to. So this you have to keep in mind. Likewise, age, men, they do not change. Though these are also bondage, enlightenment, golden, though they gold, you change it to golden, it still remains on the first syllable. Here, like I said, every time there are exceptions to rules. The stress shift is found in certain words, but certain words like E-N-A-G-E, M-E-N-T, they remain in the same position. They do not change. So with this, we complete the stress shift. So once again, I'll go back, explain it once again, especially the verbs, children. Please keep in mind, verbs are not just action words. There is more to it than just action words. Verbs are of two kinds. They are lexical as well as auxiliary. Lexical are transitive and intransitive. Intransitive meaning does not have an object. It is automatically understood transitive sentence has an object. Now coming to auxiliary, they are of two, divided into two. One are models and one are primary. Models are can, could, shall, should, will, would, may, might, need, dare, etc. While primary is again divided into three: be form, do form, have form. Like I said, in your verb patterns, you come across intransitive sentences and about be forms. Please make sure you know what intransitive sentence very clearly it says any other expression and writes in brackets optional. You can give any other adverbs or anything, but please do not mention an object. Be form is, am, are, was, were, and the negative forms. Do is do, does, did. The negative forms don't, doesn't, didn't. Likewise, have is has, had, have had, hasn't, haven't, hadn't. Verb patterns. Okay, I've explained about the linking verb. In verb patterns, remember, when they give linking word be, and they'll give one example, based on the example, you have to write it. Supplementary children, if they repeat also, it's understood, but betterment children, if you want good marks, do not repeat the same linking word be. They are 5 over here: is, am, are, was, were, plus you have the negative also: isn't, aren't, wasn't, weren't. Make use of them. Even the positive are 5. So if one is given in example, there are still 4 for you to write. If you repeat, you stand to lose marks. You will not get full marks. Now coming to stress marking, I've explained to you in stress marking, you are not supposed to, stress marking is very, very unpredictable. So you have to remember certain points, especially the word endings will help you, the prefixes and the compound words. Likewise, numerical. Again, like I said, in compound words also, they have given some words which do not, the syllable is not on the, the stress mark is not on the first syllable. Like bookshelf, postman, post box, it's always on the first. But myself, however, themselves, it's on the second syllable. Yet you have soft-spoken, short-sighted, which is a compound word and it's on the second syllable. There's no rule signifying why it is used on the second syllable. So that is why we call it unpredictable. And numericals 20, 30, 40, 10, all these are on the first syllable. But when it is teen, 18, 19, 17, it is on the second syllable. If it's an adjective or a noun, it is on the first syllable. If it is a verb, it is on the second syllable. To differentiate, they will write in the brackets whether it is a noun, adjective, or a verb. This is very important, children, because this is the best way that you can learn and write the word endings, because here there is no exception. Only thing you have to learn the word endings by heart. Like first one is EE, EER, ETTE, QUE, AIR. From the end on the last syllable. When I say syllable, don't put it ETTE. When you pronounce it is kit, chain, net. So that is why you put it before N. Engineer. That's why before N. Employee. That's why before unique. Before N. Millionaire. Before N. This is how you go about writing. The second are only 4 in number, and this from the end, it is on the second syllable. Don't see the words like social is disyllabic word, so it comes on the first syllable. While vacation is trisyllabic word, that's why it is on the second syllable. Logic, again disyllabic word, that's why it is on the first syllable. Dangerous is again trisyllabic word, so it is on the second syllable. Now coming to the third, ION, remember children, in second it is ION. And with that word, remember one word, so it is, you won't get confused. Vacation, musician. This is ION, this is IAN. Here you have IAL, here it is ICAL. IZD, ITY, if you remember, logography is easy. This is a trisyllabic word. It cannot be disyllabic word because from the end on the third syllable, like musician, it's polysyllabic word. That's why it comes on the second syllable. While musical is only trisyllabic word, that is why it comes on the first syllable. Sympathize, again trisyllabic word, that is why it is on the first syllable. Now coming to possibility, possibility, it's a polysyllabic word. So from the end, third syllable, before B. Biology, you don't say biology. It's a trisyllabic word, and that's why it comes before O. Likewise, photography, it's a polysyllabic word and comes on the second syllable. Now the last is stress shift. When suffixes are added, there is a shift in the stress marking. Like economy, it is on the second syllable. Economics, it's on the third syllable. And you should remember, when it ends with IC, sorry, I see. It is from the end second syllable. So this you should keep in mind. Economics. So it comes on the third syllable. Econometrics, again, there is a shift. But like I said, there's always exceptions to the rules where the same when the suffix is added, it does not change. So it is the most very confusing part of grammar, children, because we call it eccentric for the simple reason, very unpredictable. There are no one-to-one relationship. So remember all this, especially the word endings will help you to write, because this is the easiest way. Plus, like I said, not only the word endings, but also the weak prefixes. I've given you weak prefixes like A, B, E, I, R, I, L, C, O, N, D, I, S. All these are weak prefixes. It's never on a weak prefix, but on the root word. Likewise, compound words, postman, book, shop, and everything, it's on the first syllable. But there are exceptions. There are exceptions, and that's why it is very, very confusing. Again, numericals and teens are very clear-cut. Before teen, you have the, like 18, you put it before teen. But if it is 80, it is the first syllable. This is very easy for you to remember. An adjective noun, it's on the first syllable. And if it is a verb, it is on the second syllable. So I hope you have understood this, children. But just understanding is not easy enough. What you have to do is to practice. Practice makes a man perfect. It looks very, very easy. But if you start writing only, you will have innumerable doubts. And when you have doubts, when you clarify, you will have a straight answer. You will understand all the more better when you are practicing. So children, just learning is not enough. You have to practice, especially those who are writing betterment. If you have got over 90s, you still have to, that means you are still, somewhere you are losing point. Maybe in your handwriting, maybe it is the way you write the, another thing, section wise you have to write. If you write part of A, jump to B, then come back to A and then C, it will give a very wrong impression on the examiner. Keep each section in one place. Make a good impression. Remember, the examiner is not going to read each word, each line. He's just going to skim through your answers. So, he scans for important things. So the key words, when you underline it, he gets an idea. He or she will get a clear idea, and that's when you can score good marks. So children, I will end the session here. Have a good day. I have, that man has a, oh, stop.